Theater Festival will take place May 18th to the 31st in Lock Haven Park, and digitally June 4th through the 18th through a new program called DigiFringe. Enjoy performances from artists all around the world. Ticket prices range from free to $12 and are available online at orlandofringe.org or at the box office.
With Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She joins us every Tuesday, and she's in the studio this morning. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Tom. How you doing this morning?
You know, I'm good. I will tell you, I played 4 holes of golf yesterday.
Oh, did you? Did you?
It's 7 weeks today since the surgery.
Okay, feeling
played
good.
4 holes of golf. Should have played 3.
Okay, it was a little
Woke up this morning, got out of bed. And the muscles in my back said, no, you're not ready to stand up straight yet.
Just give it a few minutes.
So I bent over, did a couple up and down bend overs,
right,
and then was able to walk to the shower. And
there you go.
It was good.
There you go. So healing up. It just takes time.
But not playing today.
No. Give it another week.
Yeah, baby steps.
That's it.
And when you talk about baby steps, isn't that really the way you should garden? You don't jump into it.
Right.
You do baby steps.
If you're a beginner, right. If you're a beginner, yeah, you don't just
jump in
and
walk.
right and go, I'm going to totally I bought this house and I'm going to do the whole landscape, a vegetable garden, herb garden, and all. It's like, yeah, really? Okay. Which do you want? First take a section, do a little at a time. Like you said, baby steps. Learn.
I don't have a green thumb at all.
Right.
My fiance tries to have a green thumb. But neither one of us are we actually take all of our gardening tips from you.
Okay.
And so we
if you fail, I'm in trouble.
We did exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
We planted 2 citrus trees.
Okay.
We got those
going
in the ground and everything.
Right.
Made sure that they came through the winter and
right.
well.
Yeah, we were we were watering, we fertilized,
right.
We kept it,
Then we put some cucumbers and bell peppers in the ground.
Right.
Nothing else right now, just cucumbers and bell peppers.
Give that a start, see how successful you are.
And we weed treatment the lawn.
The lawn, right. And you were saying your dollar weeds gone out of the yard.
And yellow spots that were dead weeds are starting to fill in with the St. Augustine.
Right.
But baby steps.
Baby steps. That's it. Yeah. Exactly. If you come into an area, if you've got or maybe you just now maybe you've retired, you now have time to do some of this stuff yourself. You've moved into a new home. You've bought your first home, and you now have a yard and a landscape and things like that. It's taking and either deciding what is your first step? Do you want to go ahead and get that yard, the lawn portion under control first? And this, it doesn't have to take months and months and months. It's just pick a section. You're not going to knock it all out in one weekend.
And I think that's what people try to do.
They do, yeah.
And then they get frustrated because they don't see very much
They don't see the progress.
Right.
They don't see the progress because, like you said, you put that weed control down on your yard, and
took
it probably
2.5, 3 weeks before it even yellowed up.
Right. And people want to see it automatically, even because the bottles will tell you visible results. And it's like, well, maybe. If it's strong enough to give you visible results in a matter of hours,
you probably
it might.
Put the wrong.
You may have used the wrong product, or it may be too strong.
Yeah.
It may be too strong and damage your lawn. And so, if it takes it, brush killers. Here's another example. You've got poison ivy along the fence, and you go get your bottle of brush killer, and you go spray on down the line there, and you're going, well, I still have Virginia creeper there. I sprayed it yesterday. Well, read the label. It will tell you 2 to 3 weeks before you see results because it takes that long. Even the instant burn kind of things, that's one chemical that is burning the top, giving you instant gratification because that sells product. The other ingredient that's killing that weed takes 1 to 2 weeks for it to actually reach that root zone.
I had a friend of mine that lived in Georgia, and when he lived in, he worked for a company in Georgia that sprayed fields and sprayed. And so anytime me and my buddies needed some Roundup, we didn't get the Roundup that you get at Lowe's.
Right.
We got the Roundup that he got because he would give us, a gallon, and he would say, well, you got to mix it with water.
Right, but
even that
if you
still took.
If you read the instructions, because those big those big concentrates are available. If you read the instructions, we did one day. We pulled the packet out of the back of the big 2.5 gallon Roundup Pro and found the mixing ratio and did the math. I mean, yes, this is something you do at work.
Gotta pass the time somehow, Caroline.
And I was a vendor at that time, so it was learning. It was a learning thing. And found out it made those blue bottles of the Ready Mix just like $1.25 if mixed, because that's...
If mixed properly.
When mixed properly, all you're doing is getting a very large quantity. Now, yes, they had mixing instructions for higher strengths, but really, even the Pro at times mixes down to the same stuff you're buying off the shelf.
Well, I know that my buddy Russ would mix it twice as strong. Whatever the mixture was, he would double that with the 2 gallons of water to make it stronger. And he would spray his fence line. Right. And like you said, you think this is industrial, commercial strength. Yeah. He's doubled up the strength of it. Right. He still didn't see dead weeds and grass along his fence line for 8 to 10 days.
And the real true super concentrates and things like that are usually single ingredient, or they don't have that burn agent.
Right.
They don't have that instant gratification. This is meant to work, not just to show you, oh, okay, I sprayed there.
Yeah, people want that television gratification of
that you went and sprayed it. You sprayed at 9 o'clock,
right.
and after you've had your iced tea at 1, you come back out and your weeds are dead. Well, that weed isn't dead; it's just burned.
Right.
And if you overmix those ones, because some of those do come as a concentrate, and if you overmix those, say it calls for 5 tablespoons to a gallon, and you go, well, you know what? I'm gonna kill this stuff off. I'm gonna use 8 to 10. You know what? It may not work.
Really?
Yeah, because that burn agent will burn that top of that weed off, not giving an opportunity.
Time to cauterize it so it can't get down there.
That it cannot get into that root system. So overusing a product doesn't save you money, doesn't save you time. Actually, just the opposite.
622-9622 is the number to call. If you have any questions for Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, this is your opportunity to find out the best ways to approach your lawn, your garden, your flower beds, anything that grows in the ground. Carol Ann Baldwin has an answer for you.
Some kind of answer.
Some kind of answer.
Might not be the one you want.
Yeah, well, 622-9622 is the number to call. Today, little overcast.
A little overcast here this morning.
But I woke up this morning.
Uh-huh.
It's the first morning of the season that I walked out this morning. There was no dew on my windows. The car wasn't wet. The windshield was clear. The back window was clear. There was no dew on the ground in the front yard or anything.
And I want to say, I want to say that the dew point and everything was about what the nighttime temperatures were. We should have been dewy.
You would think, but over where I lived in North Ocala,
right,
dry as a bone. 71 degrees when I walked out at
6:45
this morning.
And they were saying, the news guy out of Orlando was saying, how as they called it, muggly it was yesterday, muggy and it's like, really? It was nice at my house. I could sit outside. I worked outside. I was, most of the day out.
There was
now,
a good
yes,
breeze
I'm
yesterday.
shaded. Yes, I'm shaded. But there was a nice breeze. I did not find it to be oppressive yesterday. It was. I want to say the couple times I checked my phone for temperature, it was like 88.
Well, I'm never going to succumb to it being oppressive in May, because that just sets me up for disaster.
For disaster in July and August.
That's
it. I mean, don't complain about it yet. It's going to get worse. Just
remember, June, July, August, September, and the first week of October might be the worst weeks heat-wise that Florida experienced.
Usually it's August and September. Usually the dog days of summer, or that.
Just like February. People think winter's December, January.
No, it's February. February. Yeah,
that's wintertime. Mm-hmm. Summertime, the
is
hottest
August.
temperatures, August and early September.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's our usually, too. It's ramping into our heavier hurricane season as well. And don't forget, yes, this is early May. Hurricane season starts June the 1st.
Time to get ready.
Time to think about, not just your own personal plans, but take a look around your yard. What are you going to have to put up? What are you going to have to put away when they're calling for severe weather? Looking around at some of those branches up in the trees, it's getting probably a little, now that it's growing season, tree companies and things like that are busy. So if you're needing to have a tree removed because it's a little too close to the house, the garage, the fence, the well, taken down, you might want to go ahead and make your appointment with those guys now.
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine owns a tree service. He says he's booking 3 weeks out.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the busy time of year because people have seen that, oh, wow, that tree did not leaf out well this year.
And the hurricane season
is coming out. Normally June and July, we're usually okay. There's not a whole lot. We might get some heavy rains and things, but it's a time to take a look in the yard. Rainy season hasn't hit us yet. Look at what's going to be making standing water in your yard. We have mosquito issues. We don't need to make those worse by not knowing where those certain things are that are holding water that'll need to be tipped over, or maybe they just need to be cleaned up and gotten rid of, that they've outlived their usefulness in the landscape, and that kind of thing. But if you have, like I have, a lot of potted plants, just because I learned this past week, I've been on vacation and I've been creating a outdoor habitat for a pet turtle.
Okay.
Who is outgrowing his aquarium in the house.
So he's going from turtle to tortoise.
Turtle to bigger turtle. He is a water turtle. He is a water turtle.
You're getting the water feature out back and everything.
I'm the one doing it. So, but I found out in my area where I used to live, we had lime rock, roots, and sand. Where I'm at, I have roots and clay.
Sorry about your luck.
Yeah. Less than a foot down, I have clay.
And that pointed shovel don't go through the clay
it doesn't.
At all.
It doesn't. It's
better get a Maddox. You need a Maddox.
I managed to get about a foot deep. So
but
that's
is that large enough to put the covering in? And
it should be. Yeah, I mean, because it was a flexible liner.
How many gallons is flexible liner going to hold?
I don't know. I put the hose in and filled it up.
So what did you have him inside? You had him in what, like 25 gallons?
He was in a 3 foot by 1 foot.
So 50 gallons.
It was like a 50 gallon, but it wasn't filled to the top.
Right.
So now he's probably got at least a good 70 gallons, I'm going to say, in water, and then he'll have a nice 8 foot by 8 foot yard.
You're just building him a mansion, is what I'm
building. I am because lumber prices are so high. Plant trees. I'm doing concrete block.
Somebody sent a meme out the other day. Said, "You want to show people how rich you are? Shoot your 9mm bullets into a piece of plywood." That would show you wealthy. Because you're just wasting money.
That's wasting money. Not just, it used to be wasting bullets, and now
now it's wasting bullets and plywood.
Yeah.
But when. We got a call.
We got a call. Interesting ringtone.
I know. I can hear the ringtone.
Yeah.
Good morning, caller. You're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
Hi, Hugh.
Carol Ann, what's the name of your turtle?
My turtle's name is Squirtle. Squirtle the turtle.
Well, bless you for taking care of that turtle. I had an interesting thing happen here the other day. I live close to a road out in front here, and I happened with the dog in the yard, and the car pulls up and stops, right in the middle of the road, and the lady gets out, and there was a turtle going across the road, and she wanted to make sure it was safely got across. So we have a pet turtle around here too, but I don't know what its name is. I should give it a name, but I think those retention ponds are kind of dry right now, so maybe I should get a little pool for the thing too, huh?
Well, it's one of those. I wonder, was it? Did you happen to see it?
Yes. Oh, it's a good size.
Good size. Probably one of the soft-shell water turtles. It may have even been a female, because I don't believe they lay their eggs by the water source. I think they actually, because of predator,
they burrow in
they
the
go
ground,
further away. And because somebody else I know had one in their yard too, actually, just the other day. And the closest water is probably a quarter mile out, almost. And so so there may be a lake or a swampy area near you, because you're out near the forest. I know you're not in your same spot, but it's still there may be some water somewhere within a quarter mile or so. But yeah, they seem to take a stroll and they're fast. They're quick even on land.
Yeah. Right. Well, I seen this guy in the retention pond when there was water in it, swimming around. But all the retention ponds are full and dry right now, so I would imagine they're waiting for the rains to start coming for those little guys, so they got some place. What do they just kind of like eat inside like a retention pond? They get a food source there, or do they just like water?
Yeah, most of the time, at least the turtle I have, that once they hit more of a mature age, they are more vegetarian. That they do consume much more plant material than, say, fish and things like that. So it. They probably do okay with it, but they need some water because they are a water turtle, but that they're not needing the water for food. It would be more for water, for cooling and that.
Out in my backyard area, I feed the birds. I buy bird seed, and I noticed the other evening I seen a couple of rabbits enjoying themselves over there too, and I'm just wondering maybe if the turtle wouldn't come by and help himself too, maybe.
It might nibble on some of the stuff that is grown from the seed, because it's nice new little baby green kind of stuff that you don't, usually we mow it over with the mower that comes up, but they may be eating that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I've been feeding the birds out here since I've lived here since last October, and I noticed there must be grass seed in that bird food, because I got a nice crop of new grass out there.
all kinds of different stuff in there.
Thanks for the call, Hugh.
Okay, thank you, and have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Hugh.
Hugh, I suggest you go to Publix or Winn-Dixie or something. Grab 3-4 pounds of kale. Give that to the turtle.
And I mean, the rabbits are going to like it too.
Yeah.
I mean, the turtle I have enjoys watermelon, likes blackberries.
I will tell you this though: the lady that stopped to make sure the turtle got across the road, she does that to a gopher turtle. She's going to jail.
Well, if you stop and let them cross,
right? But if you touch them,
right?
See, that's the craziness of that law. In Florida, if you see a gopher turtle crossing the road and you stop and pick it up and help it, you violated the law. But if it's in the road and you run it over, then Fish and Wildlife says that's just nature.
Right.
So if you stop so you don't kill it and you try to help it out of the road by picking it up, you violated the law.
Right.
But if you run it over and kill it because it's in the road, it's just nature.
Right.
Seems stupid to me.
That does. That's one of the backwards.
Yeah.
That's one of the backwards ones. I mean, it's don't get in an accident to avoid an animal, but
I had a guy that lived on the lake near me, and he didn't like that my area of the lake was getting milfoil and everything.
Okay.
And he was a hippie, through and through hippie, like earth guy, Wiccan, that guy. And he come over and he goes, "You need to stop digging that grass out of the lake." Because I'm clearing my area to get my boat in there.
Right.
And milfoil's not a natural thing anyway.
Right, right.
And I'm out there with the hoe, and I'm chopping it up, cleaning it out. And he goes, "You need to stop that." And I go, "Or what?" He said, "Or I may have to call the authorities." I go, "Well, if you call the authorities, I'm going to tell them about those 72 gopher turtles that when you spray water out in your backyard pop up. Because 72 gopher turtles just didn't take up residence in your yard." He went away and never reported me.
I was I was going to say, and they may have come through and offered to spray for you in the area in order to help get rid of.
But those 70, he would go out in the backyard and spray his backyard, and they'd pop up and everything. Right. Yeah, so don't try it, pal.
Right.
How good, though, are turtles for the ecosystem?
Everything has their place. I mean, they do, control vegetation because they do, they are not. I'd say omnivore.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. So they do control vegetation. They help to control at different times other fish species, crayfish, depending on the type of turtle, tadpoles, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, the same thing that alligators are beneficial to the ecosystems. I mean, we don't think of them that way, but they eat larger, feral animals at times, whether or not it's a feral cat, feral pig, feral,
Still a feral animal.
It's still a feral animal, and they're gonna eat them.
I will tell you, you would have been proud of me Sunday night.
Oh yeah.
I came back from Symphony Under the Stars.
Right.
And I walked in the house and I was unloading the car, and my fiance went inside, and luckily she didn't come outside and have a freak out.
Okay.
But as I come back out, right in the center of the garage with its head up about 3 inches was a rat snake.
Oh.
Probably about 3.5 foot long,
Okay.
little bitty,
Yeah, little skinny guy. Yeah, just a teenager.
And I say rat snake. It was red and orange, so I figured it was a rat snake.
Yeah.
Or it was pink and orange. more
Right.
orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just went and got the potato rake.
Okay.
Now I don't know what the real name of that rake is, but I call it a potato rake.
Okay. You got the
People
fork.
call it a
yeah.
yard rake,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And I just pulled him with the rake out to the driveway right by the grass, and he or her, I don't know.
Right.
What it was,
Just
he went and right under the driveway.
Yeah.
Just found out.
just
how to,
found the way to get away and hide.
I'm sure that he's still going to keep insects and lizards and all
And the
down
rest-
to a minimum.
Just don't need to be in the garage.
Just doesn't need to be in the garage.
Yeah, that's
To
all.
freak Susan out when
Yeah.
she walks out and goes,
And-
holy.
And that's it. Most all of the snakes in Florida are harmless.
3 poisonous snakes in Florida. My mom said all
Actually,
of
there's 5.
there 5?
There's 5, but one is up near the Panhandle. That's your copperhead.
Right.
But then you got your eastern diamondback, your water moccasin,
coral.
the coral, and the pygmy.
Oh, I forgot about pygmy rattler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got 4. You've got 4 here. The pygmy,
itty bitty thing.
itty bitty thing. You really have to stick a body part in their mouth.
In their mouth for them
because
to bite you.
they are that small. I had a cat get, I would say maybe a small strike. Did not kill the cat.
Right.
Cat had a healthy respect for not walking on the ground for about 3 weeks.
Eastern Diamondback gives you plenty of warning that they're
That
there,
they're- right.
and they don't want you. They don't want to
They
come
don't
at you.
want you. Yeah, they want
stop so I can get away.
Yeah, leave me alone. I'm telling you, I'm here. The coral snake is probably the most dangerous
Because
snake.
people think it's so pretty.
And
I've seen
it
people
looks
actually
like
reach
a king
down.
snake.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like the king snake. And again, though, they have a small mouth and they must chew.
yeah.
So usually, and you'll find them actually in the ground. One time we unearthed one. It wasn't harmed, but it was when we were rototilling the vegetable garden. And it came up to the surface because it got pulled up with the rototiller, but it was a big one, so it was going slow. We got it into a bucket, into another part of the, dumped it over in the woods and let it do its thing. But, again, those ones have a very small mouth. They're not a very large snake. So, if you're gardening, wearing your shoes, wearing gloves, all helps
Long
on
pants.
that.
And I know
I
people
don't
say
do long
shorts,
pants.
but
I don't wear long pants, but I do wear shoes and I do wear gloves, mostly for the fire
And you can wear a high
ants.
top hiking boot, and that
You
helps
could wear,
a lot,
yeah,
too.
you could wear even tall socks, or at least because we also have ticks
Yes.
and fire ants and
Chiggers.
things like that that you might want to try to keep off your skin.
When we come back,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about things that summer does, because we talked about planting in the spring and pruning
Yeah.
and everything, but summer's upon us. The
Summer's
heat's here,
summer's come. Yeah.
and there's things we have to do to protect our plants, just like in the winter when plants get hypothermia.
Right. We're hot and dry right
heat-
now, so yeah.
If I wasn't watering my mother,
She'd
the peace
be
lily,
she'd be
every day,
dead.
every
yeah.
day I come home, she's wilted.
Yeah.
And then she takes a good drink and she pops back up.
That's it, yeah.
But there's a lot of things that the heat can
Is-
hurt if
can
we don't
hurt,
take
right,
care
if
of.
we're not right.
We'll talk about that next. You're listening to In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's super spring tree sale time at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. And Bob's favorite trees, the live oaks, are on special sale this week. Come and check them out. Bob's large live oaks, 7 to 8 feet tall, regularly super low priced at $139.95, but during this event, they're marked down to an almost unbelievable $99.99. Plus, when you buy one, you get another one just like it for half price. And speaking of trees, how about citrus? The Bob Wine citrus trees, many are bearing fruit right now, start at just $59.99. More ideas. Society garlic, just $3.99. Caladiums, 2 for $8. And yes, your favorite unadvertised special, just $5.99, Confederate jasmine. Check the ad and come on out to Bob Wine's this week, any day till 4:30, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. A few of our tractor services include bush hogging, disking, and rototilling. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honey-do list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now. From Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half-mile east of I-75, or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
Howdy folks, RL here for Dairy Queen again to tell you about what's hot and what's not. Dairy Queen has some of the best char-grilled chicken breasts on earth, as well as their chicken breast salad. And the burgers are exceptional, cooked on a real grill for the best flavor and less fat. And for dessert, blizzards are unequaled. Personally, banana split is my all-time favorite. Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Right, it's in the garden. with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's here to take your calls. 622-9622 is the number to call. She'll take your questions on anything about your grass, your lawn, your how to get rid of your weeds, your garden, your vegetable garden, your flower plants, anything like it. She'll even tell you whether you're doing a good job with your trees or not.
That's it. Yeah, well, we'll talk about anything. You got to,
everything.
But like you said, when we went into break, we got a phone call?
We do.
Oh, cool.
It's weird how you can hear it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it coming out there, I guess.
That one, yeah.
Good morning, you're on with Carol Ann Baldwin. And they're gone.
Yep. Oh,
I answered the phone,
sorry,
and they didn't want to talk.
We tried.
Call back, 622-9622.
As we were talking about before we went to break on, as the summer months, because we always, we talk about preparing for winter and everything else, preparing for summer for the hotter months. Right now, we're actually having a very dry spring.
A very dry
spring. As compared, I think last year we were over average every month through spring on rainfall, and this year we're definitely down. We're dry. The ground is crunchy,
and it was a cold winter, which led to drying out.
Drying out of many things. So I mean, you need to make sure your irrigation is set good, set well to twice a week for us. And I hear on the phone, so we'll go ahead and get that question.
Good morning, caller. You're over with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Hey, Sonny.
Tom, this is Sonny calling.
Yeah.
My lawn, especially like in my backyard on one side, it's on the east side of the yard.
Okay.
I have these bald spots or bare spots.
Okay.
And no matter what I do, I can't seem to get anything to grow there, like grass.
I'm just
wondering, I did put down some bug killer, but maybe I have to put it down again or something? They're eating the roots?
Well, it's possible that they are. I mean, on the edge areas of where you have St. Augustine or Bahia?
I tried to put the Bahia down, but I put down, last time I put it down, I put a name brand seed down.
Okay.
And nothing.
Nothing. Oh,
then
wow.
I tried some of the, our famous quick lawn deal.
Right.
And I got some little fine blades of grass come up, and then I don't see anything. Everything went away.
On some of those quick, I was going to say some of those quick grass kind of things have ryegrass predominantly, and as for us, it doesn't work, except for like in the fall. But in those areas, if you have Bahia, you may have a grub issue, and you might want to take a shovel and take a look on the areas, not where it's already dead, but on some of those other areas nearby, and just like
turn the
dirt over and see whether or not you've got them. But if you've put an insect control down and watered it in, because all of those insect controls have to be watered in, find one of the ones that actually lists grubs. I always hate to do brand names, but there is one that works better than others for working underground on the grubs, and that is the Bio Advance. On their and I would do the granulated, put it down per directions, which usually it's not going to be you get the most square footage out of the bag to kill grubs. You're usually getting about half. You're going to that higher rate and then watering that in thoroughly in order to take that down in there to where those grubs are and knocking those out. And with it being as dry as it is, I think mostly what we just have to wait for is the rainy season to kick up for the grass to actually begin to grow.
Well, I've been watering, and I'm always beginning to think I put too much water down.
Well, with
thanks for the call, Sonny.
Sonny, it's one of those kind of things that we can water out of the tap all day long, and it just doesn't really.
It ain't Mother Nature.
It's not Mother Nature. I know Mother Nature dropped it on the ground, and we're pulling it back up out of the ground, but rainwater does something. It has that nitrogen from the lightning and things like that, just the different things that are pulled down through the sky onto the earth without it filtering through everything and coming back up. But I would just, Bahia lawns have a tendency to be a little thin.
And during this dry season,
they will turn brown.
I mean, it's hay.
It's right. It will turn brown. It will be thin. It will stop growing. Hopefully in another couple weeks. Well, they're talking rain tomorrow and Thursday.
Yes.
We'll see. Last time they called for rain, I had a minute and a half. I didn't get rain at my house. The sidewalk, it basically dried, as soon as it stopped. So hopefully we get a little more rain out of this upcoming event tomorrow and Thursday for this area, Central Florida, not just down the Orlando area. But until our rainy seasons come, it's Bahia just doesn't respond as well to irrigation as it does to rainwater.
We were talking before we went to break, and we started to hit on it before Sonny's call about what you need to do in the 95-degree, almost subtropical climate we have here.
Right.
We do have subtropical,
not
tropical.
Right.
Almost tropical, subtropical climate we have here. And it fluctuates between hot and wet, and hot and dry.
Right.
And hot and dry and hot and wet both have their problems.
They both have their problems, and they both have their benefits. We had a very cold, fairly dry winter, which made all of our azaleas gorgeous.
100%.
The jasmine is looking fantastic right now. My gardenia was scrubby looking plant was full of bloom. Now it's hot and dry. We're needing to irrigate. Here in Marion County, I think you're pretty much 2 days a week. Set your irrigation, measure your irrigation. Make sure you're putting enough out at each time. You want a nice deep watering infrequently versus a frequent shallow watering.
What is a good watering? Because what ours is set at, ours is set at a 1/4 inch.
Okay, you would do better at probably about a 1/2 inch. For each watering time. So you might want to bump it up some just because we're as dry, because you want to encourage that root system to go down, which with more water, it stays in that ground deeper, goes down further, and so it encourages those roots to go down further in the ground. And this is true in your shrubberies. So if your irrigation is more than just lawn, that it's within your shrubbery.
It gets my shrubs,
everything. That you want those roots to go as deep as possible so that they can seek out water when we are dry. And that's, makes them deeper, makes it a hardier lawn, makes it more able to withstand the drier conditions and the hotter conditions. And like you say, your guy who comes and mows your lawn keeps your St. Augustine at 2 3/4, 3 inches,
right.
3 inch, and that's perfect. And so that actually helps to keep that root system cool. I know that's hard to believe when it's 88, 90 degrees, but it is cooler down underneath there. The same way in the wintertime to have it longer. We don't ever want to scalp the lawn. And
I just know how good fresh cut St. Augustine feels on my bare feet.
Yes, and it looks so nice when they're freshly mowed. And then as we start to get into, June, when the rain should be starting up and we begin to get the rain, we've got that same temperature, but now you add in anywhere 1 to 4 inches of rain every day, every other day. Then we're turning our sprinkler systems off. You actually put it in the off position, put it into the manual position where you go ahead and control that water, because normally you don't need to water from June through the 1st of September. That's our very wet season. We get 90, I'll say at least 75 to 80% of our annual rainfall happens during those months. So turn it off. You will help to prevent problems, because properly watered landscape, lawn included, and fertilized makes less pest issues because you just have a healthier, or they can survive it. Less fungal issues because you're not overwatering. You're watering very early in the morning so the leaves have a chance to dry. And I know people think, well, why do I want it dry? I want to water it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon so it stays moist. No, that's when you invite fungal problems. So watering 3, 4, 5 a.m. is great, because by the time the sun comes up, the ground has taken that water in and we're beginning to dry the leaf blades.
I know people, though, that subscribe to the thought of, in the Florida heat,
right,
I cool my lawn off at 3 in the afternoon.
No.
People, because you
I
see
know,
that.
it's
Like I've heard, and I know it happens at golf courses, but that's a whole different idea.
That's a whole
where they go, we got to go cool the greens off in
Right.
the afternoon. And they go, but that's because you're dealing with something that's only like maybe an eighth of an inch tall,
right?
Or that the sun will burn
that up, right?
A 3-inch St. Augustine grass
is
water it in the morning. Don't worry about cooling it off in the afternoon.
Exactly, and when we put out irrigation in the hot afternoon, all you're doing is evaporation. You're wasting your water, and if you happen to have city water, that's an expensive proposition.
And you're creating a sauna.
And creating a sauna. Yeah, just walk through a parking lot after a quick shower in the afternoon. It's not doing anything beneficial to the lawn to do that or the landscape. There's also a belief that watering plants in the hot afternoon causes burn. I don't follow with that. What I follow with is it doesn't dry, and you get fungal issues because it happens to stay moist into the evening hours. And of course, come summertime, when we get the afternoon rains, we can't control that.
No.
So that's when a lot of our fungal issues go up, because we have the hot, humid conditions. I actually had a supervisor one time when I worked as a merchandiser, who said, when is the optimum fungal conditions? It's when temperature and humidity, the percentage of humidity and the temperature equal 150. So 75 degrees and 75% humidity, which could be our winter,
yes,
adds up to 150. So we can have fungal time anytime and then higher on
and then
that.
in July, when it's 95
degrees
with 95% humidity,
you've got
and the sun high in the sky, not a cloud in the sky.
Right, you still have high.
Yeah, that's 190 degrees.
Yeah.
That's 190.
99 and 180.
Right.
So you're right there at that. That threshold for fungal time. So in our climate, we can have fungal problems year round. So proper watering, proper spacing of plants in the landscape, allowing for airflow, allowing for growth and things. So proper pruning, don't over fertilize, encouraging all kinds of tons of new growth that you're then just going to chop off because it's too close.
Are there plants or bushes or and such that I need to be aware of that the heat can hurt? So I need to be aware of them in the summertime to take special attention to them here in Florida.
Not a whole lot. If they're planted in the right place. It's like you've got mom, and she's in a pot.
She gets sun about 8 hours a day,
which is crazy, because most of the time Spathiphyllum really are houseplants.
Right.
They like to hang out in the dark. But like you said, right now it's getting so hot for her, she's wilting every single day.
Every day.
So that you're going to move her to where she gets better irrigation, and maybe. Is she going to be tucked up where she gets a little
shade? Now she's getting a little shade. Now,
yeah.
Where I moved her, she's probably getting sun about 5-6 hours.
Right. And so some of it could just be that plants that in the wintertime or when it was cooler that we could put into more sun because the days were shorter need to move back closer.
And by the way, it's not my mom. It's the peace lily that was at my mom's funeral.
Right.
That I refer to as my mom.
As mom. Right. Mama Peace.
I don't want people to think I got my mom in a flower plant, and we're in a flower pot, and we're watering her.
Yeah.
Like Aunt Edna on the rocking chair on top of the car.
There
you
go. Yeah.
In the rainstorm.
No. This is a plant. It's the peace lily.
My box shrubs have all come back. They're all green and everything.
Nice and green, yeah.
And so the lawn guy came by last week. And they were starting. They're probably just like these out here. When you look out
these
from the window,
got 4 to 6 inches of new growth on them.
They need somebody to come across with
and
just
just trim them up.
And he come and took about 1 inch off the top and boxed them up and everything.
Right.
And it's amazing. They even look more green now than they did a week ago. When he trimmed them.
Right. Well, because you take away the baby light green, so you're back down to that more mature. Make sure though that when he's pruning, you always want to put. Everybody boxes things off, or they accidentally take that bottom in angle that back into the trunk. Actually, you want to take and angle that out. The top should be a little wider than the bottom. You don't have to do it drastically to where it looks like you've got a scoop on the the front of the house there, but just a slight, and that way more sun hits the whole plant, hits that bottom, and that helps to keep them full all the way down to the ground.
Yeah, because at the very bottom is where you see this.
It's when you begin to,
that's where you see
it
the
begins at that bottom, and so if you have that slight angle, say you're 2 foot at the top is how wide your hedge is,
2 and an inch,
and two and an inch, maybe even 2 and 2 inches, coming down at that just a little bit of an angle to keep some of that bottom showing out a little further.
I can't do that, Carolyn.
2 and an inch would work. Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
I have the curse.
OCD.
I have the curse. I can walk in and I can see a picture that is crooked by 1/8 of an inch.
Well, if you measure it, know that it's supposed to be like this, and just get that nice line on it.
Bananas. Just drive me bananas. But I understand for the healthiness of the plant.
For the healthiness, to keep it full, you just need, and I'm not sure how drastic that really needs to be. Maybe an inch may be enough. An inch at 2 feet isn't a whole lot.
Right now, one of the issues I have, and my neighbor has, is we share a fence line.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, they look like baby little elephant ear plants.
Yeah.
But they're on a vine that has thorns.
Oh, smilax.
I don't know what it is.
The smilax
but
vine.
It's taking over the fence.
The briar. Yeah, green briar. Yeah, green briar, bull briar.
Is that something you could spray and get rid of? Or is that something you got to literally get out of the ground to get rid of?
I would begin control using a spray. I mean, if they're small, you might be able to come back and realize that I've dug out a root system out of one of those one time. I think it was one of those things, if I got to do this. And it was as large as a lid of a garbage can.
Wow.
And these were all pieces that if you'd have got in there and chopped, thinking, well, I've got that one dug out. No, all you did was dig out that piece. So you actually have to get up under it. So your best thing would be to use a brush killer and begin to, and that'll weaken that root system to where if you had the gumption, you could dig it out of there, but you should be able to weaken that back just by treating it. It's going to take repeated treatments because that root system can be that large.
They're also the same exact weed, vine,
yeah,
thorn, whatever you want to call it, is coming up through my miniature azaleas in the front. They're coming up through, and they're starting to stick up above the azaleas.
Right,
now.
which and if you keep
they're
just
almost
pruning
impossible
those,
to get out of there.
And the only way to do something like that, and you can do this, and you can do it successfully without killing your azaleas, would be to try to pull them forward, pull them out of the foliage, use something, a paper bag, paper plate, use a sponge or a sponge brush, and brush it onto the leaves and allow that to be absorbed. And that way it's not a spray aerosolized across the top of your plant. It's put directly where you want it to be. And it won't, it won't get on there. So you're not going to have something dripping off. And sometimes that's the only way to get it out of there, because you can keep cutting, and each time you'll cut, you'll notice that vine keeps getting a little bit thicker. Because it's still growing. It's still growing. It still is taking and putting energy into that. So it is, probably, because you're not gonna pull that out from underneath those azaleas.
And right now, what I'm talking about is about angel hair pasta
thickness. Okay, so
they're really young.
Real young. I would probably get a brush killer. And do that. Get you the foam paint brushes, and that way you don't have a drip, and you can you put on some plastic gloves that you can throw away at the end of it, so you're not worried about getting it on yourself. You can even do this just with a regular kitchen sponge that you keep for that, and you just need to get it on that plant. Don't get it on your azaleas, because it will be the demise of them, and it will take it back in. You may have to, this may be this summer. I'm going to attack again. Baby steps.
Right.
I'm going to get rid of this on this particular vine on the fence and out of these azaleas.
Didn't see it last summer, so does that mean maybe birds or something dropped, or
it may have run underground and is coming up in a new area. Trying to think, not sure if the briar berries or not, but I do know that it creates quite a tuberous type root zone underground.
All I know is it hurts when you touch it.
When you grab it, grab it and pull it. It has quite large leaves. Yes, so it sounds like
they look like little baby elephant ears.
Kinda, yeah.
They're like long and triangular.
Right,
yeah. And they have stickers for days.
Yes, but you get down near the base of them and they don't.
Oh.
The stickers are more further up on them, and after a while the stickers seem to get further apart.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, sometimes if you got good gloves on, you can manage to get a hold of them and like pull them out of the tops out of the shrubbery. But yeah, just protect your plants. Get a roll of like brown paper or a couple sheets of newspaper and put behind where you're going to work, and that way you can, if you're treating these vines, they can lay there. They're not going to get on your plants that you don't want to damage.
I come out of my back porch about a week ago, and I go, what is she doing? And Susan's over by the cucumbers.
Okay.
Because the cucumbers have been, the St. Augustine's still trying to grow.
Right.
We cleared it all out, but now the St. Augustine's still trying to grow.
Trying to creep in.
And the dollar weed, because it's wet, is trying to creep in. She's out there with brown paper bag material.
Okay.
Putting it all on the ground around the cucumber.
To try
and
shade out the...
I go, what are you doing? She goes...
Weeds.
Killing weeds.
Killing weeds.
I had no idea.
Yeah, you can put, and a lot of people, instead of buying a commercial weed fabric, they will collect up, if it's in flower beds and things, cardboard boxes, newspapers, things like that. You don't want the glossy pages of the...
No, this is brown paper bag
brown
material.
paper bag kind of stuff, yeah. And you can put layers of that on the ground and put your mulch right on top of it, and it'll do the same thing as... landscape fabric. It just isn't going to have the longevity, which is okay, especially if it's, say, maybe in flower beds where you can take and you can break that up and
you put
turn it back in.
On top of it. That cardboard, that paper breaks down.
And over, of course, it may last a year, might last 2 years. But I'm always one of the school of thinking that every few years your beds that are mulch should be cleaned out and fresh mulch put down anyway. Clean all that out so that you can get a good fertilization. It gets rid of a lot of weeds, weed seeds, and all kinds of other bad stuff too. And I know we're pushing up against the clock.
We are pushing up. We got about 2 minutes. So 622-9622 is the number to call if you got any questions for Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. It is In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin. So if you had to tell people one tip for hurricane season for your yard, would it be walk around and notice the things that if it's imminent, that danger is coming, that you need to move inside or move to safety?
Yeah, that would probably be the biggest thing, is make note of what kind of pots you have out there. What kind of pottery do you have out there? What kind of statuary?
My mom is in my mom's in like a 10-gallon it's a big old thing.
And so you're
but
gonna
it's
have
clay.
And it's heavy. It's heavy.
But it ain't hurricane wind heavy if it was.
Right. Yeah. So it's one
tornado
of those kind of
pick
things,
it up.
for sure. I mean, tornado will pick up a car. Hurricane will tear off a roof.
Right.
So, and take down large trees. So, yeah, take a look around. And a lot of times if you have an in-ground swimming pool, you can throw the lawn furniture down in there. Makes it easier. You just go for a swim later, pick it all back up, but it's safe because it's underwater. But your pots and things like that, your barbecue grills, all that stuff will have to be thought about to bring in. And also think about possibly collecting your rainwater at that time to use at a different...
The greatest thing the greatest thing during hurricane season is a generator, okay? We'll agree on that.
Yes.
To keep the air going and the refrigerator going.
That's it.
But after that, the greatest assets you could have during hurricane season...
It's a charcoal grill.
Swimming pool.
Swimming pool, yeah. Even a kiddie pool. Because now
you got water. You don't have to put water in the bathtub if you got a swimming pool.
Even a kiddie pool.
Yeah.
If you can, you just got to make sure it's, full of water when you,
Are you ready for the tip of the day?
What's your tip of the day?
It's not my tip. Susan Kieran came up with this tip.
Okay.
It's fantastic. We have a large kiddie pool.
Right.
We're up against the clock. Large kiddie pool. We put 4 or 5 pieces of Bahia sod in that kiddie pool on the lanai so that the dogs can use that as a relief area if there's a storm going on outside. That's a great tip.
You wouldn't believe how many people come looking for sod and baby pools, the kiddie splash pools, when a hurricane is imminent.
Making room for the fur babies to still have the ability to go to the bathroom.
Without stress.
Without stress.
Yep.
Carol Ann, thanks so much. Talk to you next week.
My pleasure. Yep.
Says, In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. We'll be right back after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Some things to